What's up everyone, Ronnie here, and today I'm doing a tutorial on the Castaway. Like I promised last week, I did a tutorial on the cast vault which teaches you basic cast technique. So make sure you check out that tutorial to get comfortable and familiar with the cast before actually learning the Castaway, because this is an advanced dangerous move, so keep that in mind as you learn this trick. So the basic technique for doing a castaway from height, which can be a little bit different from a low castaway, which I'll get into later in this video, but for the basic castaway when you have plenty of height, generally think like swing set height, what you're going to do is get in that position for doing the cast where the bar is about at your hips, you're holding yourself up. So after you're in that position, what I like to do is I like to do just a couple practice kind of small cast leg motions to kind of get the feel for it, and then as I lean forward slightly, bend my body slightly, that will give me the momentum to pop, drive my heels back, and kind of set myself into the position to go into a castaway. Now with these, you generally don't do it from a full handstand. That is an option, you can do it from a handstand, but from a handstand, you're gonna have to do a lot more rotation to get all the way around. So generally, it's harder from a handstand and you need a lot more height to be able to land it successfully. And so you're gonna push back into kind of a half handstand where you're not fully inverted, but your legs are still up and you're still arching with your back and you're driving your heels back. And at this point, you're going to be pushing with your arms to kind of get a little bit of lift, but also push you away from the object you're jumping off of. And so at this point, it's all about timing. Once you hit that set, you want to immediately push and snap your knees to your chest and rotate backward. Now because you are at a little bit more of an angle, you're gonna have to hold the tuck a little bit longer than you would with just a normal backflip, because you're doing a little bit more rotation than just a normal backflip. As you also drive the tuck, you want to think about really pulling that tuck in. A problem I often have is I feel like I do kind of a lazy tuck and I land a lot sloppier when I do that. You really want to, once you drive your knees, pull that tuck in tight and just kind of force it into the tuck so you get that extra spin and extra rotation. Then just make sure you spot the ground and land on your feet as you get around. Now before actually attempting the castaway, you can actually practice the motion on just flat ground by doing a basic handstand cast and then just practice jumping to your feet, and if you have a pad, you can even try going to your back, because that's going to be, if you can do that motion on ground, then you're basically there for doing a full castaway. All you have to do is throw the tuck and rotate it around. Now this move is all about timing with the push, the set, and the snap, because if you do the snap too late, then it means you're going to be falling by the time you're rotating and you're really not going to get it around super well. You want to be able to get that snap kind of just as you're getting the set so that you can get some of the rotation in before you actually start dropping. The cool thing with this move is there's so many different angles you can actually start it from depending on the style you want to do. You can kind of play around with the different variations to see what's comfortable with you, because ultimately it's just kind of finding the technique where you can get it, and then from there you can continually progress it and refine the technique till eventually you're doing low casts. So once you have the castaway down from height and you feel comfortable with that motion, you can actually start working that height lower and lower till you're eventually doing low cast. Now doing the actual technique for a low cast is a lot different and a lot more difficult and not something I can actually do yet, which is why I brought a special guest along, Kalen Chan, because he's the pro at low castaways and is now going to give you some tips and techniques on how to do the low cast.
Hey guys, so if you want to take your normal castaway to a low castaway, there's something you should know about the difference between two of them. So the higher castaway, just because you have a bigger drop behind you, it doesn't really matter that much on where your body is as long as you're getting the kick and the push, because you have all that height and that time, you can get a backflip around usually. But with the low castaway, you want to be doing most of the entire flip above the obstacle. So instead of coming back and out, you are coming forward and up, kind of like that. A good exercise for this is just casting up on top of it, landing on your feet like this. It's going to feel a lot like that, except instead of landing on top of it, your feet carrying you through into that backflip rotation. Also, another difference between the two is you'll find in normal castaways, it's usually a two-step technique where it's cast push into the flip, where the low castaway is more of a single motion, kind of like a worm motion, where you let your body rock on the object and you lead with your toes, going to your knee, into your hips, all the way up your body, kind of like a worm motion that helps you get that quick rotation into it.
Yeah. So thank you, Kaylin, for that awesome tip on learning the low castaway. Remember, with all these moves, it takes a lot of practice. So even if you learn the technique from these videos, it takes a lot of time in the gym and just a lot of practice to nail that technique down and to get it in your muscle memory so it becomes powerful, fast, and quick. But that's basically how you learn the castaway and the low castaway. Now, Kaylin actually has a tutorial coming out on his channel that's going to be a more in-depth tutorial on the advanced low castaway. So be sure to subscribe to his channel for those awesome tutorials. He's also coming out with his Red Bull Art of Motion soon, so you definitely want to follow him because he's doing some amazing stuff. So go check out his channel, and in the meantime, subscribe to my channel for additional tutorials, and thanks for watching.